Kirby, following up the 4 players that are coming back, there's 2 high-profile running backs who decided not to play in bowl games. You probably heard the stories. Do you have any opinion on the topic, and would you anticipate this might become more commonplace in the future?
I just read about it, Jeff. I just saw it, I guess yesterday. Was it yesterday that McCaffrey deal came out? And we've been so busy with practice, I haven't thought much about it. Obviously, it's a concern in college football if that starts to happen. I certainly think that, kids look at where am I predicted, what is the financial value, and also how important is this game. And that all goes back to your tie to your university. How important is it to your teammates? How important is it to the development of your team? Some coaches would argue, does it matter that much because I'm trying to develop my team for the future, and that guy's not going to be there anyway. But it goes back to what you're playing for. What's your purpose? Why are you playing? If you're playing for the love of the game and to help your team win, then you certainly should play in that game. If not, then maybe it's otherwise. And I know Leonard's a little different because his is an injury, so it has a lot to do with the injury.
Can you understand how a couple of kids might sort of think that way?
Well, I think it's each kid's individual responsibility to make that decision that only they can make. I think that's up to them. I certainly think from a perspective of your teammates that they feel like that game's important enough to play in. But it is, nowadays, you have to be looking at it from a selfish perspective for the kid, because they've got to look at it and make a decision of, this is about me, but this is also about the team and how it affects the team. And I think as long as they handle it the right way, have discussions with the team and consult with them, then they do what they do. I certainly think that could be a thing of the future where people bring it up. What is the meaning of these games? I've told these kids about our game. Most important of this game, you remember the outcome. You remember the outcome of the game. That's what I remember about the 3 bowl games I played in, was the outcome. It wasn't where I went, where we went, what we did at night, what were the parties like, what was the practice like. All they cared about was who won the game. So that's the feature presentation for our kids in this one.
You talked about being careful not to take on the role as a recruiter when the guys were coming back.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself, is that a situation where, you as a coach, you got a guy that may be thinking about doing something like that, bypassing the bowl? Would you kind of consider being the recruiter then? Are you trying to talk to those guys?
Well, I still think that's their decision, that's their choice. I certainly think it doesn't show a great reflection to their team, to those team players and those guys, but that's their choice, just like the choice to come out would be, or to stay would be. So ultimately they've got to be able to live with that decision and focus on it. You've also got to consider how the NFL looks at that too, because they have games every week, and they're going to look at it and say, okay, how does the NFL perceive this to be?